Hello everyone. Today I'm going to do something different in my traveler's notebook. You're all going to witness my first ever watercolor piece. I've never painted anything in my life, so if it comes out horrible, well, we'll just laugh about it and never talk about it again. But I wanted to do something that was out of my element, something new and different. I usually do any type of art digitally on my iPad, and it's not really art, it's more like little animations. But I figured this could be fun to try. I'm going to be painting in my dot grid traveler's notebook. I know it's not watercolor paper, but I figured it would work fine. I'm doing this in my gratitude and prayers journal since I have a lot of pages that won't be filled in at the end of the year. I'm going to be using some cheap watercolor that I got off of Amazon a couple years ago. I don't know if it's a good quality or not, but it's what I have. Maybe later on, if I like it or if this project turns out okay, I'll buy something better. For my little art piece, I want to meditate on the last paragraph in the book of Habakkuk. I find this book super relatable, especially with what's going on in the world right now. What I like about this book is that it feels so relatable to me in almost how I pray with God. I like to have a personal relationship with Him, and unfortunately in the past I've had a few prayers where I have foolishly questioned and expressed my feelings to God on things like the typical why bad things happen, like violence, injustice, or corrupt leadership, just like Habakkuk does in this book. Fortunately for him, God answered his questions directly. As for me, I've been blessed with my own copy of His Word, which holds all the answers. What I wanted to meditate on was basically how God's answer to Habakkuk was to trust Him. In the prophecy of Babylon, the 5 woes are something that we constantly see throughout history and today. Economic and social injustice and leaders abusing their power and idolatry, which nowadays can be anything from money to things we obsess over. There are many future Babylons, but the one thing that stands true is God's love and the gospel. Here I'm just doing a light wash of color for the background of the verse that I'm writing. For the scripture that I'm using, it's in Habakkuk 3:17-19. He just rejoices in the Lord so perfectly. It's a great example of someone that has faith, but is not afraid to question God. Not in a way that's unbelieving, but question God as a believer and being realistic and realizing who God really is. In his verse, he says, "Though the fig tree should not blossom, nor the fruit on the vines, the produce of the olive fail, and the fields yield no food, the flock be cut off from the fold, and there be no herd in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will take joy in the God of my salvation. God, the Lord, is my strength. He makes my feet like the deer's. He makes me tread on my high places." Trusting God is the only thing that brings true joy. True joy doesn't depend on your circumstances or what you have or don't have. There will always be trials and tough times, and sometimes you think that nothing in life is going to get better, but that's when you have to lean in, sit by His feet, and trust Him and trust in His plans, because sometimes you never know where He's gonna take you. You may pray for one thing, but God has another plan that is even greater than what you ever thought of. I feel like we're creatures that are proud and just want to do things our way only and think our way is the best, without remembering that we have a Creator that knows all and has seen your future and knows exactly what you need. because this verse mentions making his feet like a deer and tread on high places. I figured I would do a couple deers just munching on some grass, standing next to a mountain. I tried to be bold and didn't sketch out my deer, which I feel is gonna be a mistake, but I'm gonna go for it and hope it comes out okay. I'm adding some depth to this deer, not really knowing what I'm doing. Right now it kind of looks like a bear, but I'm just gonna trust the process and hope it comes out all right and move on to some other things. I'm trying to add some poppy flowers, but it's not really working. On the other side, I'm going to do like a little forest. I'm trying to make it look like it's nighttime, not quite nighttime, but like just before morning, almost before the sunrise, maybe before sunset. I don't know, that time in between. Oh no, there I go. Now I'm adding some shading and it's starting to look like a worm. This is what happens when you just don't stop and you keep going and start overthinking. I decided to do a little deer and see what else I can do here. Alright, the following morning I decided to just redo this because he looked like a little worm, if I'm honest, like a little leech worm, so I don't want to use that anymore. Now for part 2, let's see if I can do this again. This time I'm gonna make the deer look away because obviously I can't paint a deer face. This time I'm gonna sketch it though and hope for the best. Here I'm adding some highlights and details and hopefully I don't overdo it this time. It's not the best, but it's not too bad. It's kind of working. I tried my best to kind of match the colors, but since I already washed the palette, I wasn't sure. Here I'm adding a little detail of the moon. Just adding some more details. Or trying to add some more details, pretending that I know exactly what I'm doing. And here's my art piece. Let me know how you think I did. I know I'm not some artist, but it was fun. I think it looks better than the worm. It's not perfect, but I like it. It's cute. Let me know down below if you have any suggestions for watercolors and what I should do next. I hope you enjoyed this type of video, and I hope it encouraged you a little bit. I look forward to trying different types of art with you guys, and hopefully my skills will progress a lot more. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.